This is Silenced, my hardcore Ironman. Last episode we unlocked the Gate of Igneous, which was used to level up crafting to 80 and gain access to the elite skill Invention. We focused on upgrading to tier 90 weapons, which required defeating all 4 God Wars Dungeon 2 bosses and getting some big level requirements out of the way. We ended things off with the big tier 90 upgrade and our sights set on Zuck for our Igneous cape. Welcome to the Hardcore Ironman series. With tier 90 necromancy weapons achieved, the goal now is to go for a few more upgrades before we take on Zuck. The first of which is to upgrade our tier 70 armor to tier 80. I have 2 options with necromancy, either going with the tank armor or power armor. We already have the tank gear tasks completed, so it is much easier to do that, whereas with power armor we would have to defeat Nex and QBD. Not too difficult bosses, but a hurdle nonetheless. Since this is a hardcore Ironman, I do want to be a bit safer, so I think I'm going to be going with the tank armor. It does provide an extra 7.5% chance to dodge, and this does stack with the darkness incantation, giving me a 27.5% chance to dodge, which is going to be extremely helpful for the Zuck fight. To get tier 80 necromancy gear, you need to start getting pieces of subjugation from krill and breaking them down into greater ensouled cloth. We'll actually only need 1 drop of subjugation to get enough greater ensouled cloth, since we did stock up by going to Thalman's shop every Wednesday. Occasionally he sells some greater ensouled cloth, and so we have accumulated 4 pieces that way. Another bonus about krill is that it will drop some War Piece of Zamorak gear every once in a while, and you can disassemble this for some free Zamorak components, which will be extremely helpful later on. And that is a God Sword shard number 2. Hey, we got our first drop, the Gown of Subjugation, and we have 30 minutes left in the instance. It would be nice to get 1 more, maybe. And just got level 81 defense as well. That is actually needed for Zuck. It is going to unlock the barricade ability. I think I'll call it there. It is ending it about 10 minutes early on the hour, but we did get the 1 drop. I might come back and try and get another, because obviously we'll want subjugation for mage armor eventually, but we'll end there for now. The plan with Invention is to start to level it up by using a black salamander first. You can augment these and disassemble them at level 5 to instantly boost you up to around level 22 Invention. Once we reach level 27, all of my augmented items can then reach level 10, which will further improve the XP gain. My goal with Invention, at least for right now, is to level it up past level 27 so we can start getting some budget perks, like maybe Biting 2 and Precise 2, maybe Eruptive 2 on our necromancy gear, which we can take in to the Zuck fight. It's not a huge DPS increase, it's maybe only a few percent, but every little bit counts. Finding solid weapons to augment and then disassemble is really the hard part with early game Invention for an iron. So I spent a few hours making ensouled bars, which I then turned into necromancy weapons. I was able to create 5 tier 70 death guards and 5 tier 70 lanterns. This will greatly speed up the mid-game Invention training, since rather than siphoning items and needing 80,000 XP to get to level 12, I'll only need 40,000 item XP to get to level 9, and I'll be able to disassemble them twice as fast. So this is going to be pretty helpful for some mid-game Invention training. Another method I'll be using for Invention is leveling up the pickpocketing bag. Since it's considered a tool, it hardly uses any divine charges, and you actually level this up fairly quickly. It's about 3% of your thieving XP gained, and at very high thieving levels, you'll be gaining 1, maybe 2 million thieving XP per hour, so we're going to get a lot of Invention XP this way. But first, we gotta train thieving. With the Thieving Guild unlocked, we can now do safe cracking, which is really good XP per hour at the level 62 thieving range. So we're going to be doing that up until maybe level 90, then start pickpocketing. Safe cracking is very simple. There are safes located across Gillinor, and you just go and crack them open for really good XP. The XP per hour ranges from around 200k per hour, at the level 62 requirement when you're doing the lower tier saves, and it can increase up to 6 or 7 or maybe even 800,000 XP when you do the high-end saves around level 90. After gaining a ton of XP through safe cracking, I moved on to pickpocketing the Crux Equal Knights. These drop a lot of different seeds, which will be really helpful to get that 90 herb lore requirement, so I can boost to 96 for overloads. Thieving has become such a crucial skill for Ironman accounts. You get a lot of really good supplies. Another good new one is the archaeology professors, or just the archaeologists. They do give you some materials and also some tetra compass pieces, so this is going to be really helpful for archaeology later on when I want to push that and get some better relics. I definitely should have done this much earlier, but if we go to the Memorial of Guthix, we can activate one of these passive effects, which allows us to gather memory shards while pickpocketing. Memory shards are really good for really any account. You can turn them into a few different divination items, but the main one being Sign of the Porters. So essentially we're getting free Sign of the Porters while pickpocketing, which is insane. We completed a few quests, starting with the Throne of Miscellanea, which unlocks the Managing Miscellanea minigame. This is a great source of maple logs, which we can then disassemble into simple parts. Royal Trouble is the second quest in the quest series, and it just expands upon Managing Miscellanea, allows you to gather more resources a bit faster as well. We also got 75 Agility, which is a requirement for Plague's End, a quest that we'll want to do at some point. After this, we moved on to the Elder Kiln, which is a really important quest, mainly because it unlocks the Fight Kiln. This cape is needed for the Igneous cape once we defeat Zuck, so we may as well get it first. With the quest complete, let's get in there and start the Fight Kiln. The Fight Kiln is a 37 wave fight where you need to take on multiple Jads and eventually Harakan at the very end. Surprisingly, I always find wave 28 the hardest, where you have to take on 6 of the Tozakar, Ket, and Dil. These are creatures that must be hit with melee attacks first, but they also deal a typeless 2k damage if you're within range for too long. This wave was by far the longest, as I didn't have great melee gear with me, and my strategy was just to barge into them and dive away and wait for cooldowns, because I didn't want to totally run out of food. It would have been much quicker if I realized you can actually swap to any style after the armor is broken, but anyway, we got through the wave after probably around 10 minutes. The second last wave of the fight, also known as the double Jad wave, is also probably the second scariest. You have to make sure you get the Jads on off ticks, or you can just use an invincibility crystal and you're all good. Tier 90 Necromancy makes Harakan a very trivial boss fight at the end, and with that we obtained our Necromancy Fight Kiln cape. The Fight Kiln is completed. It was a bit close. I mean, we didn't have any food at all, but man, it's always those dills. They're such a pain. And we are going to take the Necromancy cape. Let's do it. All right, there we go. New cape slot unlocked. Better than the Thieving cape, so we'll put that on. Look at that. Now we just need to take on Zuck, and honestly, after that Fight Kiln run, it wasn't as easy as I thought, and I think Zuck is going to be a bit difficult. Following the Fight Kiln, I wanted to get more ready for Zuck, and I started by training Summoning. The goal was to get 67 for the War Tortoise pouch. This is a Beast of Burden, which allows for 18 slots, a pretty big upgrade from the Spirit Terrorbird's 12 slots. Since I was running low on charms, I decided to unlock Haven Height and try out the summoning training method there for a little bit of increased XP per charm. I went a little overboard and got level 68 summoning, so we have the War Tortoise unlocked for the Zuck fight. We will need 75 summoning at some point to unlock Prifdiness, so I will probably come back here at some point and get a few more levels. And that is as a first resort completed, which does unlock potion flasks. We will be bringing in few potion flasks for the Zuck fight, so this was a pretty big unlock. Just got the first full inventory of robust glass. Didn't actually realize that you need 89 crafting to do it, so I will need to boost to get the potion flask. But that's going to be the plan. We're going to get some potion flasks for Zuck, and then one more upgrade, and we'll be ready to take him on. And that last upgrade requires an onyx, so we're going to head back to the fight kiln and get another quick fight kiln completion for that onyx. And that is the kill. We did get a combat achievement that time too, not using any crystals. I've also been doing a few Reaper assignments in the background. We have accumulated 476 points, so it's time to buy an incomplete Hydrix and make another upgrade, being the Ring of Death. The Ring of Death is a huge upgrade for Ironman accounts, because if you do happen to die, it will resurrect yourself and then you'll start taking a bleed which rapidly increases in damage. So for fights like Zuck or any boss fight where you can teleport out, whenever you proc the ring, you can teleport out to safety and avoid a death that way. The only downside is that you have to unequip your Ring of Life, so if you do disconnect, you are probably dead. With the Ring of Death acquired, it was just down to some final prep work. We created a super adrenaline flask and got some penance powder before we headed in to face Zuck. The Zuck fight is an 18-wave gauntlet, where you face off against waves of mobs, multiple Jads, Harakan, and finally Zuck. The first few waves are a breeze, and then comes the challenge waves. Wave 5 is the first challenge wave, where you need to defeat 5 melee mobs within 20 seconds to prevent their insta-kill attack. This is fairly easy with necromancy and the Threads of Fate ability, allowing you to clear this challenge in just a few seconds without any problems. The next challenge wave is wave 10, where you need to defeat the unbreakable Tzekar Ket. This creature can only be damaged by attacks that deal over 3k. Unfortunately, since I'm only a mid-game Ironman, I just can't quite do enough damage even with the death mark. So unfortunately I have to tank this hit, which deals nearly 4k damage. But with all the supplies remaining, things are looking pretty good at this point in the fight. Wave 11 is a double Jad phase, which can be completed fairly easily. And then comes wave 15, the third and final challenge wave, where they fire projectiles at you which deal a ton of damage. It can be avoided with abilities like Resonance, Devotion, and the correct Protection Prayer, and Barricade, but failing this wave isn't too punishing either, causing only about 3k damage. This is then followed up by wave 16, the triple Jad phase. Standing in the correct position allows you to only be attacked by one Jad at once, making this wave also trivial. Then comes Harakan. Some pretty good damage. About as good as I could do, honestly. Don't expect a one cycle. Yeah, okay, no one cycle. That's pretty good. Man, come on. There we go, got it. And with Harakan down, the only thing left between me and the Igneous cape is Zuck. But the supplies are looking very limited. This is not much food. This is not much food. This is gonna be sketchy. Zuck can be a very scary boss to fight. Not only does his auto attacks deal a lot of damage, but he actually saps your maximum health, requiring you to keep an eye on this and drink super restores to replenish it. Zuck also has a few different mechanics and a burn mechanic, which you need to use freedom before you start taking 2Ks every tick. On top of this, at the end of every phase, Zuck will do an empowered magic attack, which will deal a 5k if not avoided with an ability like Resonance. Okay, we got that mechanic, that's good. Let's just deal a little more damage. Okay, this part is actually really scary. The next part of the fight is called the Pizza phase, where you need to defeat all 3 of the Igneous Tzars before time runs out and Zuck charges his insta-kill attack. If you are within the arena when this insta-kill attack goes off, you are instantly dead, avoiding all precautions like the Sign of Life and Ring of Death. Luckily, it looks like I have just enough damage to deal with this phase fairly comfortably. Okay, damage. Okay. Oh shit! Oh god! Eat. Okay, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. We got 3 pieces of food left. I probably shouldn't have eaten that. Come on, get that off, get that off. Okay, that was good. That was huge. Okay. Now the question is, can we heal through this? Okay, get that bloat off. Yeah, I just need my ghost to heal me big time, please. Yeah, I'm gonna eat food. I'm gonna eat food. Probably shouldn't have. Okay, let's kill him. Okay. Big damage. This is not good damage, and I got 1 piece of food left. Come on, better damage. This is terrible damage. What's going on? Oh, I just ate my last piece of food. Oh my god! No, I tallied. Oh my god, I tallied with 5k left. I could have procced the Ring of Death. My sign went off and I panicked. Shoot. I could have had that for sure. Well, I guess that's fine. We can just go back in. We can get the kill. And then we'll go back in. I even used like all the Fury Shark. Oh my god, that was bad. Let's pause it right there and let me rewind and explain what happened. We were on the final phase of Zuck, literally 70k HP until he's defeated, but I had applied the death mark, meaning all I needed to do was get him down to 30,000 health, and I had the kill. Sure, I did sign, and I only had 2,800 life points left, but my Ring of Death was equipped, meaning if I was going to take another hit, if I was going to get killed, it would have just procced the Ring of Death, and I could have gotten the kill without teleporting. It really doesn't get as close as that, but we still aren't dead. We can go back and get the kill for real this time. But first, since we already made it to Zuck, and you get a checkpoint, we may as well practice the Zuck fight first. Yes, continue where we left off. Nope, tally. I don't know what happened that time. I don't know. I'm throwing so bad right now. Alright, attempt number 3, I guess. Okay, we should get it this time. My god. Why am I taking so much damage? That was not great. And I ate so much food at the end. That burn killed me. Although that was my first Zuck kill, we don't actually get the Igneous Cape unless it's a flawless run, meaning no checkpoints. You need to go in there, do all 18 waves without exiting. So we gotta go back for attempt number 2. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I really screwed up. I really screwed up. Oh no. Yeah, we're gonna have to consume some food here. I was doing so well on food too. My god, that is a ton of damage. That was not played well. Lost some more food. Oh my god, that did a lot of damage. I am just eating a ton of food in these last few waves. Oh god, I forgot it was the Jad wave. Okay. So I just threw those last few waves. It was going so well. Okay, we're gonna go with... Go to Hurakan with full health. So that's something at least. Might actually one cycle. Oh my god, come on. A little bit more damage. Blow up the zombie, blow up the zombie. Oh my god, the zombie didn't blow. Just some weird little keybind to like instantly swap my action bars was screwed me. Okay, here we go. Zuck time. Okay. I'm always afraid that's gonna hit me, because if it does, I'm kind of screwed. Yeah, let's do a little bit more damage. Come on. Okay, I dumped everything I had. That could be a 2-cycle. Okay, here we go. Big damage. Yeah, I'm just... Wow. I did not deal much damage. Yeah, the food situation is looking very good. Okay, big damage. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Just need some more damage. Okay, here it is. That is the kill. Igneous stone obtained. 28-minute kill. Let's go. That was so much better. We have a ton of food left over. Ah, let's look in that chest. There it is, the Igneous stone. That is what we have been after. And with that, the Igneous Calmore, the Zuck cape, is obtained. The very first major goal on the hardcore Ironman is completed without any deaths. We'll just have to wait and see for what's in store next.